Hey guys, if this is your first time here, welcome to the channel, and if not, welcome back. I'm making this video to be kind of a time capsule. It's something to look back on every so often to remind myself why I started and where I began. This is a genuine, spontaneous conversation that I had with a good friend of mine about why I became a content creator and why I decided to start working on myself and my business and my brand. It goes into the reasoning behind that decision, as well as some of the sad, happy, and difficult times that I've had trying to make it where I'm at now. I hope you enjoy it, and if you're far off in the future, never forget where you started. Use this video to remind yourself about how far you've come.
Yeah. The biggest thing for me is that I gained a lot of freedom with my current job, you know, and I wasn't I wasn't dying with my last job. Like, it wasn't something that I was like, I want to just like fucking like end the world and just not be able to handle anything. I was working my way up and it was okay, but I wasn't happy, you know? And that's something that I've been trying to work on myself recently, is that I think that even though like people say, you know, like, oh, well, why would you ever want to become a streamer or anything like that? And the thing about it is I could start a normal business, but the thing that I enjoy most is just talking to people about things and having conversations like we're having right now. Like, this is one of the most fun things that I can really do with my time. And the other thing is play fucking video games, right? Those are like the two things that I enjoy doing. I enjoy interacting with the community. I enjoy like working on projects that mean something to me. And it's just, I'm finally getting to that point in my life where I'm trying to just reinvest in myself in some ways. Like, where I'm spending more and more time realizing that the things that I want to do aren't just have fun exactly. It's more so that I want to like work towards this end goal, right? Like, I'm hitting that age now where I can just push towards those things. I've got my job, and my job is steady, and things are okay, and all that's fine, and it gives me the freedom to be able to do this. But recently, I've been really like pushing a lot harder. Like, for example, I mean, none of this is like great, but I'll send you a couple things here. None of this is like super impressive, but I mean, like, I made this stuff from scratch, and I learned all of it from knowing absolutely nothing. I mean, in like a day, right? Like a day or two, like I learned how to make this stuff. So give me 1 second here. Like, I made this in like a day, right? Like from scratch. Just the pieces of it, I put it together, I learned how to do all of the stuff for it. So this is the outro that I'm going to use for my YouTube. You guys will see it on my video, the people that are watching. I don't want to just like show off on the stream what this is, but I'm going to send it to him. But I made this. So the idea is that the black that you see is transparent, so it just goes over top of anything that I'm playing at the end, right? Like, I just spent time learning how to make everything in this. Every single piece of this is completely from scratch, right? Like, I made everything. Every little piece is either hand-drawn by me, or hand-made by me, or hand-animated by me. I learned how to do all of that. So it's like, yeah, it's not the greatest looking thing, it's not the coolest looking thing, but like, I made that, you know? Like, I learned how to make that. I sat down, and I learned, and I taught myself, and I improved myself and my skills and my abilities to do something. I made that. I think it looks like halfway passable for like one of the first things that I've ever done.
It looks good. Like, you learned how to do it quickly, and you put it together. Like, there's a very like empowering feeling behind like making like learning how to do something that you have the slightest fucking idea, you know nothing about it, and you just look into it and you're just like, okay, this is how I'm gonna do it. You're gonna work your ass off for a day, and then you fucking make it, and it feels really good.
I've been learning how to make all these things, and I've been working on this, and I actually feel like for the first time, because I've tried this before, right? Like, I've tried like the streaming and the community and all this stuff. I tried this I tried this once last year, or a year and a half ago, right? And I was doing everything wrong, and I've realized now like how I'm doing it now in comparison to how I was doing it before. I'm just it's just I learned so much failing that first time that this time is going so much better for me. Like, yeah, like my viewers are okay. Like, I don't really try to like manage my feeling of success on like how many people watch me and how many people look at what I'm doing. I more so try to manage my feeling of success on how I feel about the things that I'm doing and how I feel about the content that I'm making, right? Like, I feel that my streams nowadays, even, because back then I was kind of riding this weird hype train where I was like, you know, is like my community that I was working with, my job and all that stuff was growing really fast and all of that, and like I was streaming like 12 to 14 to 16 hours a day sometimes twice a day, and I was riding this weird hype train where I'd get like 10, 15, 20 viewers sometimes, but God, I felt like trash, and those streams were so boring and horrible and just not enjoyable to watch. I wasn't entertaining. It was just like people were just watching because I was there all the time, you know, like that's why they were watching, and it was never going to go anywhere. But now I actually feel like I'm providing this kind of service to people instead of it just being like, oh, well, I'm just gonna be on here and you fucks can watch me if you want to or not. It's like it's not like that anymore, you know. It feels a lot better.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I don't feel like I want to fucking die every single day when I'm streaming. That shit sucked. That shit's a nightmare, and you know exactly what I'm talking about.
That's pretty much the exact experience I had. I saw, like, I just randomly started getting a fuck ton of viewers when I played that one game, and I tried to just ride it to the
you
fucking
feel
end.
trapped, right? You feel trapped because you can't let go of it because you've never had that experience before, right? Yeah. And you get this feeling. You see the viewers pop up, and you're like, holy shit, this is cool, and it just overwrites any kind of fucking like mental that you have going on, and then you just fuck yourself, and there's nothing you can do about it. And then you crash, and then you burn, and then all of that work that you did, all those hours and everything that you put in, fucking gone, and you can never get them back.
Completely fucking worthless.
Yep. And like the only thing that you can pull from it is those experiences and learning and trying to move forward from it. And like that's why I'm saying, like, you know, like I've learned a lot better this time about what is important and what I want to do, and I think that here finally, like tonight when I do this next section that I'm going to be doing, and I'm wasting a lot of fucking time. I need to get this shit done, but I'm finally like actually learning. So
it's a good feeling, like because I mean, like now that I'm like spending all, like for me, like now that I'm spending all this fucking time like trying to get good at piano, it's like it helps so much, like with the way I am mentally, just like putting my fucking effort into something like that much and seeing this like something from scratch, because you know I've always put a ton of effort into like being good at games or being like you know working on that kind of shit, but like starting with this thing that I knew nothing about. I could just play like a couple dumb fucking like Legend of Zelda songs, you know? Yeah. And then I start just working on it. I spend like fucking hours every day like playing the piano, getting better at it, and like seeing how much better I'm getting so quickly. It's just like there's something so like empowering about that, and there's like a freeing element of it to me. It's like validation almost that like I have a place to like in my life where I can accomplish something.
Yeah, you have something that you can do that's yours, that no one can take from you, that you have learned, and no matter how you got there, it's something that feels worthwhile to you, right? Like, it's something that you feel that you have personally done and earned. And it's not just like, you know... Because, like you said, it's different when you play video games and you just play them a lot. Well, everybody fucking does that shit, and it's not personal. Like, yeah, you get good at the video game, and it's great, but it's not like you're building something or doing something. The difference would be, like, say, like if you're playing like League of Legends, for example, if you're like either a streamer building a community or you're trying to be a pro player, like that's building something, doing something, right? But just playing and being good to just be good, just to play the game, you're not gonna get the same level of fulfillment there, you know? At least I don't. Yeah. Some people might, but I don't.
Yeah, I don't either. I got a version of it when I was playing on a team.
Yeah, I mean, you got like a taste of it. You were able to like experience some of the other side, you know. And like, what did that experience teach you? Like, having that taste of it, did it just make you realize that it's not what you wanted?
I don't know. I think there's always been a part of me that knows that like I don't really think I would want to be like a pro league player, just because like I don't think I like the game enough. Like to have to play it as much as I would need to if I wanted to try to like actually go pro. I just don't think I enjoy the game enough to be willing to put in that time and to sacrifice so much of my life for it.
Yeah, I feel that, because it's like it's a very, I almost want to say it's a very dangerous thing, right? Because honestly, the amount of time it takes and the level of competition that's out there now, like, people shit on League all the time, you know, like, I remember back in the day, people used to be like, oh, League's such an easy game when Dota exists. It's like, fuck no, it's not. It's a competitive game that has a ton of depth. Like, yeah, it doesn't have some of the extra bullshit that Dota does, but, like, there's so much depth to it, and there's so many people out there that are willing to put in just as much time as you can, and they might just be better at the game than you are, just naturally, right? There's just these freaks that have been playing the game since they were fucking 11 years old, There's nothing that you
Yeah.
can do against them, so you just have to outwit them, right? Like, that's the only thing that you can do. And it's not easy. And eventually you play the game and you do the thing for so long and you get really good, but then it's like it has to suck, right? Like, saying, like, you build this team and, like, playing, and then, like, you ever go against, like, an actual, like, semi-pro team or something, and they just fucking destroy you, right? Like, they utterly rip you apart, and then you're just like, holy fuck, I put in all this time and I'm nothing, right? Like, it has to be a shitty feeling. But
I had like tastes of that. Like, we went against relatively early on in our team. We went against a college team that was all like masters average. But for us, at least, it was like a very like at least for me, and I know for my top laner, it was a very like empowering moment because like we could see the pathways to win, and we see how we could have won that game.
and that's
like,
good. That's like a positive experience for you, right? Like, I mean, like, it makes you feel like, yeah, you're getting there, which would be different for a lot of people, which I've always thought that you were, like, fucking really good at League. Like, it was always one of those things that you were, like... when you told me that you actually got onto a team, I thought you might, like, run with that, to be honest, but it's gotta be stressful.
Yeah. I don't know, I've thought about it a lot of times if I actually want to try to pursue that or not. I just don't know. I mean, when I was in my relationship, obviously, like, that makes it a lot more difficult to, like, try to... if I was already, like, you know, if you were already established as, like, a pro player or whatever, then a relationship is one thing, but trying to, like, break into that as...
you just don't have the time.
Yeah, it's pretty impossible. So.
It's one of those things, and I've struggled with it before, where it's just, like, you have to choose your battles in that regard, and you have to find something where you can either the other person is okay with it, like you just doing what you need to do. Like, I think a recent example was Doinby was talking about how he wasn't sure if he wanted to play another year of League on Pro because of his wife, right? And basically what it came to is that when you're that level, like, you're a world champion, you're playing on a Chinese team, right? Like, I mean, like, compared to the quality of life that a Chinese team and a Chinese player, or like a Korean team and a Korean player, would probably be even worse compared to like a US pro or something like that.
Well, yeah, the US pros have it fucking easy compared to like, every other region.
So it's like, you know, you really have to think, it's like your wife or your significant other or your whatever just has to kind of be okay with the fact that you're just not going to be available mentally, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the part of it that sucks. It's like, yeah, you're there physically and you can still do things together and do all these things, but your mind is just consumed with these thoughts of, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this, you know? So it can be rough. Like, it honestly really can. So, I mean, it can be a struggle, and like you said, especially with like a new relationship that's like being established when you're trying to do the same thing. New relationships are fucking tough, dude. I've always said this, that I really dislike the opening of relationships, like the opening of them, because your mind just gets fucking consumed by it, right? Yeah. And it's just like there's nothing else but the relationship, and you can't do anything else. And I feel like I get so fucking like stuck headfirst into it that I can't get anything else done, right? It's just like my mind is absolutely consumed, and I much prefer getting past that point to where I can be a fucking human being again.